Joining us now to break down what is at stake and what is happening, Hiba Anver, partner with Erickson Immigration Group. Welcome back to Bloomberg Tech. I want to start with the Supreme Court decision, if I may. As many would point out, those in the technology industry from all around the world come to the United States in part for their careers, right, to seek a job in the technology sector, but also with the hope that, if they have a family here, it offers a future to their family. I would just ask, based on your client base, your experience working as an attorney in the field, what you make of the decision by the Supreme Court this morning.
So I think that this is going to be good news for the tech industry, the healthcare industry, financial services. These are all industries that rely very heavily on workers from countries that are heavily represented in the H-1B and the L-1 pipelines in particular. So I think that first and foremost, this is a win for stability. The last 18 months have involved a tremendous amount of change. And I think that, had the decision gone a different way, then the immediate question that would have occurred to a lot of business leaders is, if the court was willing to go that far, what other reinterpretations would have been possible? And so, with the uncertainty itself being arguably economically damaging, I think that, again, this is a win for stability and continuity.
Hiba, I want to go back to that data, the handshake data, that the share of entry-level jobs offering visa sponsorship has plummeted to just 2.3%. You can see, based on that chart, the visual alone, that in 2023 we're above 10%. What does that data tell you about the impact of policy?
I think that we're seeing basically a acceleration of the talent drain, right? We're already seeing brain drain. Foreign job seeker interest in the United States is at a 6-year low. There are estimates that there has been a 17% drop in enrollment on the part of international students. The economic consequences of that foreign student enrollment drop is, by some measures, quantified to be over $1 billion. And so I think what this is demonstrating is, again, the fact that interest is starting to be directed elsewhere, but that you cannot divorce the overlap between the immigration policies as well as their downstream economic effects. And a lot of these trends are starting to have economic impact on, U.S. workers and the U.S. labor force as well.
If you could give any case study or just sort of illustrative example of, if you're working for a technology company or you are representing somebody that's trying to secure a job in the tech sector in this country, what is the real world experience of those two entities in securing a visa in this current environment?
There is a tremendous amount of scrutiny. There's a tremendous amount of vetting. The evidentiary burden is becoming increasingly more strict. And then when it comes to individuals who are from certain countries, the wait time before an individual can convert to a legal permanent resident of the United States is years and years, if not decades. And so, this is not as simple as saying that foreign workers are taking jobs from U.S. workers. Foreign workers actually have to jump through a lot of hoops to be able to achieve their immigration goals. And had this decision gone the other way, I think that there would have been a segment of that high-skilled foreign talent demographic that would have seriously, rethought the decision to choose, the United States as their permanent home.
What are the technology companies doing? Are they spending more to secure that talent? Are they lobbying hard to have policy change?
I think companies just want to be able to hire who they want to hire. And when it comes down to finding the right talent, they're interested in onboarding that individual as quickly as possible, regardless of where that individual is from. The industries in which a lot of tech companies operate are becoming increasingly competitive. It always feels like it's a race to innovate all the time. And so companies just want to be able to hire without any sort of, burden or hindrance so that they can remain competitive. And so when they hone in on on a qualified candidate, they want to be able to do whatever it takes to be able to bring them on. The more barriers that are presented in a company, a U.S. company's ability to do that, the further advantage it creates for companies outside of the United States. And so, what I've observed is that companies, while the overall demand for foreign talent has decreased slightly because companies seem to be hiring less in general, once they decide that there's a particular candidate that fits their need, they're really willing to do whatever it takes to be able to bring them on because the stakes are so high.